Army Land Navigation is one of the toughest and highly failed courses in the OCS program. I was one of those people who struggled. Today, we're diving into land navigation, a make or break skill that separates the prepared from the lost. Let's get you mission ready. Land navigation is a critical skill that tests your focus and resilience. Whether you're a seasoned soldier with experience or new to map reading. What is land navigation? Land nav is all about using a map, a compass, and your brain to locate points marked across a course in rough terrain. Sounds simple, right? Not when you're racing the clock and dodging obstacles. So here are the tools you'll need for land navigation. A protractor to plot your points, a lens-static compass, your best friend for maintaining direction, a map, study it like it's your final exam, a red light flashlight, because land nav often happens in the dark. And don't forget the basics, proper boots, water, and a solid sense of urgency. How to prepare. Preparation starts with studying the terrain. Before you step into the woods, identify key features like bridges, valleys, and streams. Next, practice pace count. This helps you estimate distance while navigating tricky areas. Remember, it's better to overcount than undercount. Orient your map with your compass and align it to true north. Mark your attack points and always triple check your azimuth. Every minute counts, so don't waste too much time plotting. It should only take you no more than 15 minutes to accurately plot your points. Typically, it's 5 to 8 points in 4 to 5 hours. For me in OCS, it was 5 points in 4 hours. You needed 4 to pass, but in BOLIC, it was 8 points in 5 hours, and you needed 7 to pass. I now hear that there's changes with OCS, and instead of 5 points, it's now 8 points, just like in BOLIC. And keep in mind, the time includes plotting, planning your route, and looking for your points. So use your time wisely. But don't worry, you'll get plenty of practice before the real test begins. When it's go time, stay calm. Stick to your azimuth and avoid shortcuts unless you're 100% confident. Keep your head on a swivel. Visualize landmarks and don't let distractions throw you off. Pro tip: if you're unsure, stop and reassess. You will learn techniques on how to reassess yourself if you end up getting off track or lost. Confidence is key, but arrogance leads to getting lost. Common mistakes and how to avoid them. Avoid these rookie mistakes: skipping map study, overestimating shortcuts, forgetting to account for slope and elevation changes. Remember, it's not just about speed, it's about accuracy. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. My final tips: pay close attention during the lessons and make sure you have a clear understanding. Make sure you take the group and the solo practices very seriously. You want to treat it as it was the real thing, because when you go out there on your own, it will be just like that. And you only get so many practice runs before you're tested. Trust me, you do not want to get recycled. I've been there. If you haven't followed my journey, you want to make sure that you speak up and ask questions. Do not be afraid to ask questions, because at the end of the day, this is your test. You do not want to rely on your peers when you're out there practicing. So treat every practice run as it was the real test. Do not let your peers in your group sessions find all the points. Make sure that you're getting practice in. I once had a bad group experience where I was out with 2 other people and they were friends, and they were only just like sticking with each other, and they were finding all the points on their own, and I was just kind of left behind. So you want to keep in mind of who you're pairing with when you go out there, because you are allowed to pick your own groups, at least when I was there. So you want to keep that in mind. Make sure you're going with someone that's going to actually help you, but it's going to actually allow you to get some practice in too and not hog all the points. So be mindful of who you're going with. Try not to go with your buddies or people like that. I feel like it's best to go with someone who's on the same level as you. That way you can learn by trial and error. Because honestly, that is going to be your best teacher. Because if you pair with someone who's already well advanced in you, you're not going to really learn much that way. It's best to learn by trial and error. Make the mistakes during practice, so that way when you're doing the real thing, you can look back on those moments and learn from them. It will be a great help, trust me. And don't worry about getting lost. Someone will find you. Don't worry. When I was there, we had our cell phones on us, but we had to wrap it and tape it in a plastic bag. So once you open the bag and pull out your phone to get help, that's the end of the test. You failed. You failed. But if you're lost, you got to pull it out for someone to come get you. And that's pretty much what happened with me. I got lost several times and it was no way I was going to make it back in time. Anyway, I already had failed. So it's like, what's the point, you know? So don't worry about getting lost. Someone will come and find you. They'll be able to find your location on your phone. And there you have it, a quick but effective guide on how to pass Army land navigation. Train hard and stay focused. And remember, every great officer was once where you are now, at the starting line. I do have a step-by-step video of how I pass land navigation. It is a fairly long video, but I go into detail of how I plot my points, how I pace count, how I did everything I did to pass. Feel free to check that video out. I will leave it on the screen somewhere or in the description below. Feel free to leave your questions down below. And like always, I will see you guys in my next video.